Hello everyone, it's Volunteers Week and it's a perfect time for us to say thank you so much for everything that you do for the hospice right throughout the year, not just this year, but every day of the week, right across the year. Particularly for me, obviously in clinical services, our lovely volunteers that have continued to help us on the inpatient unit with patients. It's made such a big difference to us. The people that have been on reception, the people that have worked in all other areas of the hospice that have been phoning people, supportive care volunteers that have continued to give people a lifeline. There's so many of you doing so many different roles still, even in these uncertain times. So I'd just like to say a huge thank you. And of course, not forgetting those of you that haven't been able to come into the hospice for lots of different reasons to continue your work. I know that you've missed us and you're keen to get back. I've seen your lovely comments on the Facebook page for our volunteers, and it's been really uplifting and heartening. So we're looking forward to seeing you all back. Thank you so much for everything. I hope it's not too long, and keep up the good work.
Hi, I'm Peter Stone and I'm new Director of Income Generation at Ashgate, so I hope I'll meet a lot of you in future. I'm just here to say thanks for all of your support volunteering for Ashgate. It's absolutely critical to the work we do, and we couldn't do a vast amount of it without your support. Whether that's raising awareness, fundraising, providing administrative support, it's all invaluable. Some of our bigger events like Sparkle Night Walk and the Christmas Market involve over 200 of you and would be simply impossible to mount if you weren't around. You might be a bucket collector, shaking a tin, collecting boxes from pubs. You might be setting up events or breaking them down. You might be proofreading the office or just doing general admin. You could be marshalling, car parking, manning a stall. Whatever it is, we're eternally grateful for your support. If you've been stood down during the current crisis, we can't wait to see you again. And if you've managed to keep volunteering for us, thanks for all you do. On behalf of everyone in the fundraising team, thanks very much for all your support.
This year's Volunteers Week comes at a time of unprecedented challenge for us, for all of our communities, our patients, our staff and our volunteers. I want to say a special thank you to all of our volunteers who have continued to support us and work where they can during this really tough time. Whether you work in retail, in fundraising, or with our patients on the inpatient unit or in another setting, thank you.
A big thank you to all our volunteers for everything that you do for Ashgate. The experience, the insights, the enthusiasm, the energy, the skills and the care that you bring to our organisation are invaluable. I know, having volunteered elsewhere, how rewarding and enjoyable it can be volunteering. And I know that for Ashgate, we just couldn't do what we do without the wonderful support of our volunteers. So thank you.
I just want to say welcome to all the volunteers and welcome back to the volunteers in estates who we've had some of the gardeners back, so welcome back. And I'd also like to say hello to all the volunteers in retail. I know we've been out of action for a while, but hopefully as we get a little bit more clarity around dates, you'll be coming back on board very shortly. We've missed you guys, and I think the positive thing is as we look forward and this COVID storm clears, we can look forward to more positive times. But I'd just like to say a big thank you to everybody and see you soon. Thanks, bye.
Ashgate wouldn't be here at all without volunteers. It was the volunteers 30-something years ago who raised the funds and did all the work to open the doors and cared for some of the first patients. And that's been true for 30-something years, and it is still true today. We wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be able to do what we do without our many, many volunteers doing all of the work across all of our services and our shops, our fundraising teams, everywhere. You're absolutely part of the Ashgate family. For those of the volunteers who've been able to come in over the last couple of months, thank you ever so much for all of your work, for helping on reception, for all the temperature checking and the telephone messages, for working on inpatient unit and in the gardens, and all of the things that the volunteers have been doing to keep us going over some of the most difficult times. And for those of you who've had to pause for whatever reason and are waiting to come back at some point, we miss you. We will welcome you back with open arms. It will be a joy to see you. And in the meantime, for all of you, it's an absolute pleasure to celebrate you during Volunteers Week. Thank you for everything you do.